Straight Talk. Dave Dixon on CFAX 1070.
Second hour of the program, we're going to be looking at a story that's making some headlines out in Ontario that may have some implications here in British Columbia. The issue of Wi-Fi, wireless internet in schools. And our next guest today, her group has some concerns with Wi-Fi. She is the chair of Citizens Against Unsafe Emissions, or CAUSE. We welcome the program from here in Victoria, Sharon Noble. Sharon, thanks for your time today.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Thanks for coming on the program. First up, talk a little bit about CAUSE. Who is your group?
Our group is called CAUSE, Citizens Against Unsafe Emissions. We're a group of interested citizens who are trying to educate the public about the dangers from wireless devices, whether it's cell transmitters, cell phones, Wi-Fi, DECT phones. And right now we're interested in trying to stop the proliferation of Wi-Fi in schools because children are the most vulnerable to this type of radiation, and people know so little about it. We figure that it's important that parents and teachers and principals become educated on this very important topic.
And as I mentioned, in Ontario, it's making some headlines out there as some schools, districts have banned Wi-Fi in schools. Have we seen any developments from British Columbia when it comes to banning Wi-Fi in schools?
I think there have been a couple of individual schools. I've heard of one in New Denver that has. Canada is quite a ways behind times. Many schools in Europe and many countries are banning Wi-Fi in public libraries and schools and in public areas because of this significant concern. There have also been quite a few schools in the States, for instance, the Los Angeles Unified School District a year or so ago supported going to the wired internet only. The thing is, Wi-Fi really isn't that 21st century. A lot of schools are getting a lot of pressure from parents who think that, really their kids have to be savvy on Wi-Fi. Really, the key is being savvy on the internet and knowing how to use computers. The only advantage for Wi-Fi is the fact you don't have cable. Mm-hmm. And there are many disadvantages to Wi-Fi. Wired is faster. It carries a whole lot more data. It's cleaner, and it can't be hacked into. So the question is, why would we risk the health of our children for something merely for convenience sake?
Convenience and mobility.
You can take your laptop from classroom to classroom, plug it in. You've got your safety. And really, a kindergartner or a first grader with a laptop, are you kidding me? I know what my grandkids would do with one. It would probably have coffee or Coke spilled in it in no time at all or dropped. There are a lot of questions here, and the big one is, should we be exposing our kids to something that is potentially very, very dangerous? It's never been shown to be safe, and there are many studies showing that there is harm from this type of radiation. And I just think that we should err on the side of caution. The precautionary principle is what many countries and schools and universities, for instance, Lakehead University banned Wi-Fi, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So why are we going this step?
When we look at this, Health Canada, who's, I guess, the authority here in our country, issued a statement earlier this summer, back in August, that there's no proven health risk when it comes to Wi-Fi. Now, you mentioned some studies. Where are these studies? Because I personally haven't seen them with the concerns, because if Health Canada is saying that there's no proven health risk, and we've heard this from other experts as well, where are these risks? The
risks are great, and the studies are there. I wish I could explain why Health Canada is saying this. I have a 1999 report from Health Canada, from their Royal Panel, that says the current safety standard for Canada is severely out of date. It is antiquated, and it doesn't apply to things such as Wi-Fi. It applies to what we call ionizing radiation that can heat you. And things like Wi-Fi and cell phones don't heat you. It's a different type of radiation entirely, and our safety code standard does not apply. I wish I knew why Health Canada is saying this, and if I may be so bold, the only thing I've been able to come up with is that there is a conflict of interest. Our government gets a lot of money from cell phone companies and from Wi-Fi companies. They make billions of dollars from licensing fees and selling off the spectrum. And there are studies there. I could give you thousands of studies. Not specific to Wi-Fi, because I must admit there haven't been a lot of studies specific to Wi-Fi, but cordless phones and baby DECT monitors, cell transmitters. There have been a lot of studies, and these are all the same type of radiation. And we know that that's dangerous. There have been scientists all over the world for many, many decades saying that this is dangerous. So Health Canada, I fear, is making another mistake, just as it did with tobacco and lead and asbestos. It's making another mistake in misleading people. Some scientists, for instance, Dr. Martin Blank, who, by the way, was at Columbia University and now lives in Victoria, has said that he thinks that this is going to be a pandemic like we've never seen before, because people are being exposed and they don't even know it. If we could see this radiation like smoke, we would be scared of it. But we can't see it, and only a few of us can feel it. So until we start getting sick in great numbers, people will continue to deny it. It's very unfortunate. As Ola Johansson from Karolinska Institute in Sweden said, we're being exposed to 1 billion times higher radiation than our bodies evolved to adjust to. And this is only within the last 50 years or so. So there's a lot that our body can't adjust to, and we certainly shouldn't be exposing our children to more. They're surrounded every day by it already, with cell transmitters that they can't get away from, and just the toys that are around, the cell phones and things like this. Wi-Fi is something we can control, and there's no reason for it except convenience.
Sharon Noble is our guest. She's with Citizens Against Unsafe Emissions, or CAUSE. She's based here in Victoria. We're going to open up the phone boards right now, get your thoughts on this if you have any questions or comments. 250-386-1161, star 1070 on your cell phone. Wi-Fi, is it something we should be concerned about? Barb is up first. Go ahead, Barb. You're on CFAX.
Yes, my name is Barb, and I absolutely agree 100% with what Sharon is saying. There's absolutely no reason to have Wi-Fi in the schools. The children can learn just as well without it, and why take that risk? Especially when there is evidence, that we have reason to be concerned. The Royal Society's review of radio frequencies and this type of radiation from cell phones, they admit in their own reports that there is ample evidence that children or the subpopulation, such as pregnant women, and many of our teachers are, or the elderly, can be more susceptible to the effects of these types of radiation. They already know that it can increase the OCD in the brain, which can lead to effects of malignant cancers. They know that it can affect the blood-brain barrier. They know that it can have effect on our biological beings, so they have no right to say that our children should be okay to be susceptible to this type of radiation on a day-to-day, long-term basis. There is no studies to prove that it is safe.
Well, the question I have, if it is unsafe, Wi-Fi and radio waves, microwaves are around us all the time. How come we're not all getting cancer and dropping dead?
We are. The sad thing is, Dave, is that there's a long latency here. And within the last period, we haven't had high levels of radiation like this until about the last 10 or 15 years. We had FM radio, but most of those transmitters were miles away from homes. Those are very dangerous, but they're miles away. It's only been within the last 10 or 15 years that we've had cell phones and cell transmitters. And to be completely honest, until about the last 5 or 6 years, most of these, weren't that frequent and numerous. So this is a new development. And in the scheme of things, our bodies have not been adjusted for this. Our bodies take time to evolve. And it's not just cancer. Just as with everyone who smokes didn't get lung cancer, not everybody who's exposed to this is going to get some serious debilitating disease. But there are many people out there who are sensitive, who are the canaries in the mine, and they're getting things that later we probably will start suffering from, things that we're not even used to. For instance, some scientists believe that the increase in autism is attributable in some degree to environmental issues like EMR, electromagnetic radiation.
Has it been proven?
It has not been proven. This is supposition.
Yes.
But they're saying that there is a hint because of things like the blood-brain barrier being damaged, that things like Alzheimer's, there's increases in all sorts of neurological problems,